Welcome to Women Talking Tech, the sassy, opinionated, always irreverent look at what's happening in tech and social media.
Okay. Welcome to episode 36. I'm Margaret Reynolds, your co-host, along with my co-host Bonnie Sainsbury, and we'll do a quick roundtable. Bonnie.
Bonnie Sainsbury, social media smarter, blog coach, Twitter maven. Barbara.
Barbara.
Hi, Barbara Wesley at Dimensional Business Solutions. We do social media and software for corporations.
Hi, and I'm Mary Kane, and I don't have my microphone on. I'm with Blog Site Studio, helping people with their WordPress blogs.
And Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Michelle Scott of Wildfire Effect Media, and what we specialize in is digital storytelling. So how are you telling your brand cross media, so cross social networks, in video formats and infographics? We help there.
Excellent. So we've got a lot of great news and great things lined up today. Bonnie, what would you like to start with?
Well, minimalist blogging platforms. So I've mentioned a couple of times before how much I like Medium. And Medium is a blogging platform. It's free and it's minimalist in that your content is king. You have one graphic that's the header, and then so there's almost no formatting. In fact, there's no formatting. So it's all about your content. It's like an essay. And at the bottom of your article, you can put for more information, see, and a link. But WordPress blog posts are becoming more and more formatted. There's, feature quotes and embedded tweets, and I mean, it just goes on and on and on. That's good to a certain extent, but it takes an awful lot of time, and sometimes it takes away from the message. So, Stephanie, have you tried Medium or any of these minimalist?
I've looked at them. I've looked on the outside, but I haven't, and I may have even created an account on them. But for me, I really love the aspect of being able to be creative with your words and creative with the images and the formatting that goes with it. And I like the idea of being able to decide where your brand falls in that place. So I've looked at them. I've actually become very curious on what types of individuals are actually reading these particular posts. If it's a small community that's like just loving the content and they're kind of devoted to it, or if it's actually getting out there in the world and it's actually picking up some steam because of the speed of being able to not have to format something. I'm curious.
There is a community that's involved. So when you sign on, there's suggested posts. And I've read some posts in niches that I wouldn't necessarily go out and search for. So that's good and that's bad. It's good because it expanded my horizon a little bit. It's bad because it could conceivably waste my time.
Is it finding SEO though? Like, are we seeing Medium and Ghost up on the Google list when we start searching for something?
Yeah.
Or do you have to kind of know where to look?
Yes, that's correct.
I do.
But I'm not necessarily a big supporter of using organic search to market your blog.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong? Mary, have you?
I did use Medium, and I posted a story on it, and then promptly lost track of where it was.
Yes.
It doesn't give you a permalink that you could read or remember or enter. So what did I do? Then I had to do a Google search for the exact words of the title and found it that way.
Didn't look like anybody had paid attention to it. It didn't get, highlighted in any way, despite the superior writing. I don't know. It's a funny thing. I find a lot of things on there that people write very long posts about things, and so I kind of get, after a while, bored with reading, people's musings about this and that and whatever. It's very pretty. It's very easy to operate. It's a little tough going from WordPress to Medium because you want to control all this stuff, and there's not so many controls.
Right.
And I'm going to try Ghost. I'm going to try the other one just to feel them out. But it's good for bloggers who just want to blog and they have no other agenda or pages. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, Margaret, have you tried any of them?
No, no, I have. I don't really foresee trying them.
That's okay.
Gotta be honest. Gotta be honest.
Barbara, are you a big blogger?
No, I haven't had a lot of time to do blogging, but when I get back to it, it probably will not be on those formats. It'll be back on my WordPress.
Right.
So no, I like to have a little bit more, like I say, control and be able to do some, formatting would be nice. Add some pictures, and that sort of stuff.
So how about for brand new bloggers?
I think it might be good for brand new bloggers or people who are just, maybe just wanting to sort of try it out, just to get their ideas, see if they can write, and and then they can go from there. I don't know, like, can you, like you say, you have a hard time finding it once you've got it on.
Yeah,
so,
I have that same issue.
Yeah, so if you, could you link it to your real blog at some point, or if you wanted, how you do on a blog and then you've got some historical, here's what I've had in the past, would you be able to even find it to put it on there? Or?
So what I did was I wrote a synopsis of just like a management overview of a blog that I had written on my BonnieSainsbury.com, and so it was about 3 or 4 paragraphs, and I said, for more information, go here.
This seems like a lot of extra work.
Well, it's just one more place to get your message out, and I'm nothing if I'm not an opportunist at using these platforms. And I think it probably is a good way for a beginner blogger to get started, because a lot of them want to be web designers. They don't want to be bloggers. They think being a blogger is, I'm sure Mary sees this, being a blogger means tweaking your WordPress plugins for 10 hours and doing half an hour of content.
Oh, well, not quite that much plug-in tweaking, but
well, no, but if you're if you're a beginner to WordPress, they've seen some of them, and that would be me too, get obsessed with tweaking that plugin and changing a color and doing an awful lot of things. It shouldn't be boring and ugly, but your content is still the most important thing. So
this is true. And hopefully you get that other stuff down, and then you can leave it and then get to the blogging.
I don't know. People will always find a way to procrastinate.
Yeah, that's yes.
It's like I'd love to write this, but I really need to tweak this plugin. Yeah, then I'll get writing. Oh no, I got to do the dishes now, and yeah.
So what is the difference between these and Blogger and WordPress.com and those kind of things? Are they even less?
Would it be functionality? Some of them are just very simple, just a blogging platform, and others can be, websites and so much more. So it depends if you just want to really focus on writing, and you're not as worried about where your content ends up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tumblr.
If you,
I've tried Tumblr, and in terms of technical, I think it has potential. But there's so much crap out there that having a Tumblr blog is sort of like having a Hotmail email address.
or MySpace.
Or my yeah. So
Funny as that is, though, the I guess the history of Tumblr or what they're actually staying, and Mary, you have to tell me if I'm right or wrong about this, but New York, where it actually came out, there were a lot of architects and designers that were using Tumblr because of its visual first.
right.
And it's still pretty popular in some cities because of that and in some industries.
Right.
So
That may be.
architects, building designers, they're still all over it.
Cool.
So
I've never been a big Tumblr person, but the interesting thing about this is about WordPress is that how it started as a blogging platform, and it's evolved into the full-blown website, the regular website format. A lot of people hardly use their blogs; they use it for a website, and so now it's gone beyond its blogging roots, and so that platform of WordPress is kind of where the HTML sites were years ago, and now all these other sites like Ghost and Medium and all these other blogging sites are coming along and just being the blogging sites. So that's kind of interesting how far it's come.
No, I agree, and that I think we'll see a shift, but who knows? I like the idea of the community. So the second, talking about community, I want to talk about the 50 most powerful women, and this was in Fortune magazine. 50 most powerful women in business. So I like the idea that, first of all, they thought that it was, the topic was interesting enough to write an article. The other one, or there's a number of things, they put the age of these people, of these women. I don't know, do they put the age of men when they say 50 most powerful? Unless you're, top 40, under 40. Anyway.
I don't think they do, but...
You don't?
I don't think, but I find it interesting, and it's nice to see that so many of them, they're, there's a good representative age, but most of them are, mid-50s and up.
Mid-50s, yeah. So IBM, these are, they're IBM, PepsiCo, DuPont, Lockheed Martin. So that's quite a technical company. That's very, very interesting. So is, of course, IBM.
Well, Facebook, Yahoo,
Facebook,
HP, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Google.
Mondelez? I didn't look to see what that was.
So what was the criteria they say here? The size and importance of the women's business in the global economy, the health and direction of the business, the arc of the woman's career, resume and runway ahead, and the social and cultural influence.
Right. So I thought it was interesting. I think of influential women mostly in tech and not in more traditional businesses, but that's not the case because Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook is number 5 and Melissa Meyer of Yahoo number 8. Meg Whitman of HP is number 9.
Yeah, hey, we've got Home Depot on here, so.
Oracle. So I thought it was.
Yeah, a few financial companies.
Yep. Google, way down at number 19, but yeah, I thought it was very, very
Intel,
interesting.
IBM as well. So yeah, there's a few, it's a good representation.
Okay.
Nice to see them do it.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that most of these women I've never heard of.
Yes, the tech women I had, but you're right. The other ones.
The other thing is, unless you're kind of focused on that industry, it's like most of the big CEO men I probably haven't heard of either. Unless there's something wrong in the news, that's generally when you get to know who they are.
Right. Yeah, they say they're not
so maybe in this case, not knowing them, it means they've been doing a good job and haven't had to be in the forefront.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely could be.
Yeah.
Well, in answer to your question, Bonnie, on the most powerful people list, yes, they do list the age.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, okay.
So Barack Obama is 52. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hey, but Angela Merkel's on there. She's number 5. Angela.
Oh, nice.
And how old is she?
She is 59.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, about the same as women or men, right?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's generally, in your 40s and 50s where you tend to get your most power in your career, unless you're one of the exceptional, the 30 under 30, 40 under 40, things like that.
Right.
Sadly, I'm on those lists. Still got another year and a half before I can get another one, I guess. So, who has an unlocked phone?
2.
Not I.
Nope.
I wish.
No.
I wish.
Yeah,
Really?
I think my next one will be, but this one currently isn't.
So I'm the only one with an unlocked phone?
Yeah, the rest of us didn't want to pay the $75 to get ours unlocked.
Oh. That's okay. That's very interesting.
That's in the end. I think it's money. It always has come down to what kind of technology do you value enough to afford into it, and
I think it's going to change.
I wish they were all unlocked.
I think it's going to change more in the future, especially as, I think that's one of the reasons why Android is becoming so popular, because you can buy an unlocked phone without having to pay $700 or $800. So I think that's going to definitely drive a lot more of that in the future, because people are going to be looking, I'd love to have an unlocked phone, want to have the portability, the freedom to go, to use what service I want, but it's like, do I want to spend $700 or do I want to spend, $200?
Right.
So my Nexus 4 came unlocked. That's the only way you can buy it, is unlocked. So that's a Google phone, and I have been so Margaret, you've never been on Wind or no, okay. So when I was on Wind and Mobilicity, the phones have to be unlocked, because and I think when you buy a phone from them, you get it unlocked too. So I choose not to buy my phone, have my phone financed through a cell phone dealer, and I don't have a contract. So that means I have to have an unlocked phone.
Yeah, that's definitely my plan for the future, but at the moment it's not the case, but it will be.
Okay, so the other thing is, would you consider taking your phone, the phone you have right now, to another cell phone provider?
I don't really have any plans to. I'm kind of happy where I'm at, but that can always change in the future. You never know.
Okay. See, I got so excited about this article on the best unlocked smartphones, because they come unlocked. The whole idea is that they're unlocked phones, so you can choose anything, any provider you want. Also, if you're going to travel from Canada to the U.S. or to Europe, you can put another SIM card in it. It's very, very easy. You just buy the SIM card and buy some time. Which
is fabulous, because in the UK, for £12 a month, you can have unlimited data, calls, and texts. It's like £12, and that's just a pay-as-you-go.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you could buy a phone once you get there, absolutely, but you could also use your own, your own phone.
Yeah.
So a lot of these were made by Motorola, who the Google Nexus 5, that's the new phone. the new one in the. I think that one made by LG. The one I
It's a
have
great
is
deal. I mean, $349 for a 16 gig phone. I mean, that's half the price of an iPhone.
right.
Or close.
So my
Yeah, I think
next
there's going to be a major shift. Oh, Bonnie, I lost you.
okay. No, are you there?
We can still hear you.
You're there, Stephanie.
Hey, now. I was just saying I think there's going to be a major shift when everyone's 3-year contracts are up and now they have the option of going for these less expensive unlock phones. So I can see some very interesting promotions being set up by the cell phone companies that still want to keep you connected to them.
Right.
And
So
I'm glad that there are options available.
Right. So the other thing is now, partially because of Google, there are $349 options. There's phones that are a lot less than that. That there's $99 smartphones that nevertheless, that will give you the functionality. Maybe it's not as pretty, it's not as fast, it doesn't have, very much memory, it could, lots of things. But I wonder how many people really use the capability of their smartphone.
Oh, only a little teeny bit of it.
Right. And the other thing is, when you go into a contract, a 3-year contract with Bell or whoever, they're financing your phone for you, so you have no idea how much that phone cost.
Yeah, right.
You may have to give them $100 cash, or sometimes it's nothing, depending on your contract, your whatever. So they hand you this, and I'm going to say overpriced. That's my take. This overpriced phone, and you have no concept of how much it costs. But if you have to go out to Craigslist or you have to buy it new, then you understand how much it costs. I mean, there's no way I would pay $600 for a phone.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be changing as well, too, since now basically aren't there pretty much all cell contracts only 2 years?
Right.
So that they don't have as long to subsidize for. So, yeah, prices are going to be changing. And, yeah, I mean, the industry is going to be evolving. Always will be.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, that's really interesting, because I just assumed almost everybody would have an unlocked phone. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, see, I live in a...
Surprise! So, and the other evolution that people keep talking about, which I completely disagree, they're saying, oh, PCs are dead, and, tablets are taking over.
Not in my world, but...
No, exactly. It's like, the business functions that most people use their computer for are, haven't really changed much in the last 20, 30 years. I mean, if you need a spreadsheet, you need a Word document, you're not going to be designing a website on a tablet.
No.
It's like tablets have their use, but it's not, they don't have they don't have the same functionality as businesses. So, yeah, it's like, there's always going to be a laptop around for me.
Right.
So in your, Margaret, in your industry, you pretty much can't move from a Windows laptop, and you're pretty much stuck on Windows 7, aren't you? And that's not your fault. That's because the insurance agent or the insurance
the industry
has old apps.
They'll be having it for Windows 8, but not Windows 8 Mobile. So, yeah, you mean, the coding software will be on Windows 8, but no, it's, Windows 8 Mobile. I mean, they're starting to talk about embracing, the tablet culture and getting a bit more of that. And there's a few companies where you can actually do online applications, but it's still not the big players. It's a slow industry to evolve. I mean, there's a few of them I still have to use Internet Explorer for. So yeah, it's like, I mean, I can use a tablet if I'm traveling to be able to keep up on emails and things like that, but for doing any actual work, no. And it's the same as, my in-house developer. It's like, he said, I'm not going to build a website on a tablet, it's like, this doesn't even make sense.
So, Barbara, you're the other one that works in sort of traditional business.
Right. Yeah. No, I can't see it replacing anything in business. I see tablet as something that's more of a personal thing. Like that's something like my daughter's family. They have 3 of them. There's only 4 of them in the family, so there's and they got 3 tablets, and they're all watching Netflix or doing this all kinds of stuff like that, and it's great. It's great for them. And I've had mine, well, probably as long as Bonnie's had hers, and also I've got some seniors in our building who have tablets, and they love them. They're easy to use, easier for them than a PC. But as far as business is concerned, no, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I have a retired sister, and she has an iPad, and that's all she needs, because all she does is some emails and a bit of surfing here and there.
Yeah. It's
like
for that. Yeah.
My tablet sits on the coffee table, and it gets most often used if we're sitting there watching TV and want to Google something or look up something on IMDb. If we're watching a movie, it's like, hey, who's in that? But yeah, business, no. Okay, it was functional for me when I went to Mexico. I was able to use it to keep up on emails, but yeah, it wasn't working.
Yeah. No, like when I'm working on like payroll systems and business, ERP systems, that sort of thing. And there's no way that you could do these massive spreadsheets and what have you on a tablet. There's just no way. I can kind of see mobile as far as things like timesheet entry, but I wouldn't, unless it was a small tablet. I would see that more on a phone. I would see people being able, the guys in the shop, who are working, can actually get on their phone and use their scanner software on their phone, and they could actually do all their timesheets directly from their workstation rather than having to go to a computer. That's where I see like mobility coming.
But then they would hit submit, and it would end up on somebody's computer.
Well, yes. Yes, most definitely. You can't be without the computer. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's going to be an evolution. And we're talking about it's like but it's there's the base that's not going to really go away because it's kind of it's the base. It's where all things kind of come to, and then there's going to be the things like the tablets and the smartphones and this and that. But there's still going to be that base.
Well, the other thing is I find is more and more and more is people in offices have at least 2 or 3 monitors, big monitors that they're looking at. So they're not looking at a little 5-inch screen or a 10-inch screen. They want to see everything like massive, right? Yeah. And I see that more and more and more. There's very few places that people actually have like 1 monitor on their desk. There's like, it's just amazing because it's so nice. It's so nice. I have 2 monitors on mine, and I'm like, I should have like a couple more.
It's great having multiple monitors. So it's like and then what, you're gonna give all that real estate up and work on a 10-inch or a 7-inch tablet? No,
right?
Never gonna happen.
Stephanie, do you have do you have a tablet? I know certainly you have a phone, but do you have a tablet? Do you work on it? You do?
I do. I actually have an iPad and a mobile device and a Mac computer as well, all in that lovely world of Mac. And I have structured my business so that I keep all of my files in an online space so that I can move between one to the next extremely easily. And I still find that if I'm going in to talk to a client at a coffee shop or something, if I want to be extremely prepared, I bring the laptop because the functionality on a tablet just simply isn't as workable, and I can't do as many things and show as many things as easily. I actually have to prepare the iPad for the presentation in order to use it effectively in the outside world.
Mm.
No, you're right. And
that said, I've saved money in my business by using mobile applications on a regular basis as part of my business.
Okay.
That said.
That's interesting. Yeah, I must be just old and set in my ways. I need a keyboard. So even a keyboard on my Windows tablet, when I want to do serious work, I don't even go to a laptop. I go to my desktop because it's the fastest computer. So. Mary, are you?
I am. I'm just doing a little task here, real quick, for a client.
Okay. On your main business computer, on your main business computer?
No, I use a laptop exclusively. My husband has a tablet that was given to him by the school, and I can really see its use if you are walking around and doing lots of things with people. I borrowed it to speak to a group, so I can like just hold it in my hands and read from it. I see people walking around with them shooting pictures. So I can really get into it that way. I think that's a great use for tablets. But, for working on them, I can't see. I need to type and I need to hear the little keypad go tick, tick, tick. And
a nice big display.
And I wanted bigger display, and yeah, I just can't be bothered with that little machine to actually get any work done. It doesn't work for me.
Margaret and I were out for dinner last night at a Chinese restaurant before Bunker, and for at least a year, they use a smartphone to order.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
So I can see that. I can see, maybe Hydro. What's it called? Is it Hydro still called BC Hydro? No,
Yep.
probably not. Okay.
Yeah.
So I could see a specific app for, nobody reads meters manually anymore, but if they had some kind of if you sent a service guy out for something, I could see an app where you could use, so that could be either tablet or smartphone.
Right.
Probably a little easier on a tablet to put information in. So I could see it as a single purpose device, but not to replace wholesale.
Oh yeah, I mean mobile. We know mobile is huge. What 78% of people look at the web on mobile devices. So yeah, they're huge. We were talking about that last night as well. In ways,
Yeah.
Web. It's not dead, but it's going to be kind of like it's the base, and there's going to be all of these, all of the mobile and and eventually like the Google Glass, augmented reality. All of that's going to be on top, but you're still going to have the web as the base.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just how we access the web will change.
Right. So as Barbara said, the seniors who would have had a computer before because that was their only choice,
Right.
now have a tablet.
And they love it.
Yeah, and
so
that's
much easier.
That's good
Yeah.
because it's email. They may or may not watch videos. Personally, I have issues with watching videos on a 10-inch screen.
But it's great for reading ebooks.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's also what I use it for. I see an awful lot of 7-inch tabs on transit.
Right.
With people reading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is that in fact I'm going to be heading into a webinar I think next week. A lot of the business software companies now are providing a mobile solution. So where that comes, like you talked about BC Hydro, there's a lot of software now that you can do your invoicing on your tablet.
Okay.
So if you're like making a service call, they just go in and they actually create, like, they'll get the service order on their tablet and then they can convert it into an invoice and give it to them. They can have the little teeny printers, or those are so cute. When little printer, give them the invoice right away, whether they pay it or whatever, however their company works. But we've had a lot of business software now looking at that. It's all done, it's ready to go.
Well, you can get the little, is it Square that has the little dongle you can plug in and you can take a credit card payment right on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah.
PayPal is moving that way. I think there's a couple of others. Apple is getting into the payment processing arena. So another way, mobile, is pop-up stores. So pop-ups are, they could be, all those vendors that pop up around, say, the Vancouver Folk Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So in the past, you had cash. That was your choice, cash.
Right.
But now, more and more of them are accepting Square or some other form of electronic payment, mobile payment. And most of the big, what is it, Moneris is one, the big payment. Yeah. So it isn't just Square that's moving into that space. So I can see reasons, mobile taking over that, but I still think, I mean, if you look at the percentage of OS penetration, there's XP is like number one. That's business. That's business that hasn't moved their apps into the real world. It is huge. It's like almost 40%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't have any businesses on Windows 8. Not a thing. Not a one. And it was a fight to get them on Windows 7.
Anyway.
So yeah, so Windows 8, from what I've read, that they're not even going to consider it. Nobody's going to Windows 8. So
wow.
Yeah. So, and they're not even sure they want to go to Windows 9, because they said Windows 9 is just a fix for Windows 8 anyway.
But Windows 8 didn't have to be fixed.
Okay.
And I got Windows 8 all over the place. The only thing I don't have it on is my really old 17-inch laptop. It would probably take me half an hour to even find it. But everything else, everything that I use has Windows 8 on it. And, now the tech press has stopped saying that it was a disaster because there's actually more penetration. There's more. Windows 8 has more percentage of the PC market than Apple. Windows 8.
Yep.
It passed it like 6 months ago, and it's maybe only 2 or 3%, but that one operating, there's just more and more people when they realize that instead of having the text start menu, now you click on an icon.
Right.
I don't know how hard that is.
Yes. Well,
people don't like change.
No, they don't
it's
like
just
change.
But those of us who have worked and lived in the technical world for ages know, change is inevitable. Get used to it.
So, do you use that Asus convertible?
I play in it a bit, but it's only 10 inches. So I got a 17-inch laptop. If I'm going to do work, I'm going to work on my laptop. But for being out mobile, handy, very handy.
So did you find it hard? Windows 8?
No, it's not hard. And plus, there's a start button if you really want to go back to it. So it's really not that difficult.
Yeah, I have the start button on all mine. I put that fix in, and I still don't use it. And now with 8.1, that search is so fast that there's no way I'm going to dig through menus when all I have to do is search. I just click on the Windows on my icon on my keyboard, or click on the icon on my screen, and then I start typing, and whether it's a file, a program, whatever it is that I'm looking for that's on the computer, an app, I find it right away, like within seconds, and sometimes it isn't even a second. So why would I wander through, a whole hierarchy of menus, text menus, when it's that easy? Anyway, off my soapbox.
Let's see, what else have we? Well, let's see, Google and Samsung. People have been talking, saying, it's like, oh, Google's going to get rid of, or Samsung's going to get rid of Google, Android's going to be changing. Well, Google and Samsung are now BFFs and are going to share patents for the next 10 years. That's a lifetime in technology years. So, anybody have comments on that?
Well, I think it's a good thing. And when there was noise about Samsung putting on their, moving away from Android onto another OS, I thought that was a bad. It just
Yeah, I didn't like
was a
that
bad.
rumor.
Yeah.
You know what? I was quite a supporter of Samsung before that, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been close to a Samsung fanboy. And after that, I thought, I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, maybe they were listening because apparently it's like, okay,
Oh, well, yeah, they should listen to me.
I mean, don't they know who you are?
Yeah, nobody. But the other thing is that we haven't talked about this yet. Google just sold Motorola.
Mhm.
Yeah, sold Motorola. They did keep a bunch of their patents, so that's going to be kind of interesting.
So I read one article this morning that thought that there was that Motorola or Google selling Motorola may have made the BFF deal a lot easier.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sure it did. So I've had both. I had a Motorola phone, which I loved, and then when I went, and unfortunately it broke. So I went back, had the warranty on it. I went back and they said, oh, Motorola's not making these anymore. They're not making any of these phones at all. They were supposedly getting out of the business. And then I got the Samsung, and I loved the Samsung as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, now Motorola, so obviously then Google got in bed with Motorola, and now who knows what's happening.
So
Very
what
cool.
makes what's part of the decision? What's the biggest part of the decision about which smartphone you buy?
I think now, I mean, there's not only the price, because price is pretty big. It can be anywhere from, like, on that one article we had, anywhere from $80 to, $800 for a smartphone. And then we look at, I look at things like, what does it do?
Operating system, functionality.
The functionality. Now you can get, I have two now. I have a Samsung and I have a Nokia that's actually pretty cool. I don't know if, where you can see it.
Nice. Oh, is it one? It's one of the big ones.
Yeah, and it's Windows 8, so have to learn it.
Yeah.
So I think that, see, like, there we go, Windows 8.
Nice. Is that the one with the 20 megapixel camera?
Oh yeah, this is like, I find it so crazy. They put these massive cameras, like it's just amazing cameras on these phones, and it's like, I get fantastic pictures off my phone.
Yeah, I know.
I don't need the old Nokia.
Well, it's handy because that way you don't have to carry an extra device. It's like your camera's always with you. I was at a Robbie Burns dinner over the weekend, and it's like, I'm taking video of him, reciting poems with a Scottish accent and all of that. And it was, you don't have to carry anything else with you. It's like, hey, I've got this here. Let's just do this.
Now, the one thing because I've been on some cruises, and what happens is, of course, I have had my regular camera, and I've had my phone, and I've had my tablet. And the thing that scares me with using a phone is that there's nothing to hang on to. Like, this would be very easy to drop into the ocean.
Yeah,
like,
good point.
Because there's nothing. And I've looked. I don't know if anybody else has found any, but I've tried to find ones that have like a wristband or something that you can actually, so you're not like, I lost my phone.
Yeah, I guess. Well, sure. I mean, you'd think they would be able to, like an aftermarket case that would be available that you could have something on. But that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
So, Mary, you use your tablet is Apple, and
I'm a total Mac head. Always have been. So of course I had to have an iPhone. I did have a Nokia flip phone for a while, but when the iPhones came out, got to have it. Everything Mac here. That's it.
Well, it does make sense for you.
And it's compatible with the computer, so I can plug it in and download iTunes and things like that.
Mm.
So it's all of a piece. You know, either you're into Mac or you're into PC.
Or a bit of both. I mean, in my household, the computers are all Windows, but there's an iPhone freak and who has an iPad but only uses it to play music, and then I have the Samsung and a Samsung tablet that basically just gets used to Google stuff. But yeah, but all the work machines are all Windows.
Oh wow! I only work
7
on
or 8? Windows 7 or Windows 8?
Windows 7.
Uh,
Well, I have the Windows 8 Asus, but my main work machine is a Windows 7, and all of Neil's are Windows 7.
okay.
So I guess that's with Windows 8. That's sort of going into the same sort of thing as the Apple, where you can have all your devices running Windows 8, and it can all share.
Yep.
Like you can go from one to the other.
Mhm.
So that's, and I think that's a plus. I think, like to be able to go, I mean, everything now, so you can put everything up onto cloud somewhere, and
That's
then,
true.
and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got Dropbox on my phone and on my computer and on my tablet, so yeah, everything's still shared between. And on an Android system, it is so easy to be able to share because, there's a lot more functionality.
Yeah. And Office 365 definitely allows you to seamlessly move. Because I do have a Windows phone. It's quite a nice phone, but it has a small display. So that's too bad. That's why I don't use it. It's a larger display. I would probably be, just because it's easier to have it all, same as Apple. It seems easier to have it all. Yeah. So just before we go, I want to talk about photoshopping women. So the fashion is
I'd like to be photoshopped.
Well, me too. But if you can Photoshop me so that when I show up in real life, I'm still Photoshopped.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's what I want. I guess we'll have to wait for augmented reality to come out.
Yes, exactly.
So there's 2 or 3 companies. I think there's 2 lingerie companies that now are saying no Photoshop. So I mean these are still pretty exceptional women and probably not what we would consider to be normal. So they're taller and they're skinnier.
But I mean, it's a thing. That's a thing. They're already a small percentage of the population. Why do they have to Photoshop them and turn them into something that nobody could ever look like in real life?
Oh, but because
I mean, it's like, how does that help society?
Because that sells bras or whatever.
I don't know. I don't think it does sell them. I think it just screws up society.
Well, yeah, yes. Okay, so do you think that it's really a now there's at least 2 of them. One sells underwear to teenagers, so I think that's a big step forward.
Yeah.
But do you think so? Going along with no Photoshop, not using Photoshop is, I mean, that's a whole mind shift. It's not marketing, or is it? Is it just?
I think in a way, it's like I'd rather see some realistic people. It's like, oh, hey, she looks like a real person. Look how good she looks in those clothes. Maybe I'd want to buy those clothes. Because you look at a model and think, okay, well, I'm not going to like that anyway. So what difference does it make?
Right. And
so
I
think, yeah, exactly. So even she can't look that way. So I think, so I think I think reality and marketing isn't a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it's a real change, or are they just playing lip service to it?
I think eventually, it'll take time, but I think eventually.
Yeah, it's too early to really say.
Yeah, but I think people, especially women, well, even men, because men know these aren't real women. They're like,
well, I mean, the male models get photoshopped too.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, for marketing, there was one of those what do you call it, like home show lingerie companies. I can't remember what it was called now, but they had fantastic lingerie. Well, this lady that I had a show done like probably 20 years ago, she came over. She was quite a large woman, a very large woman, and she could sell lingerie better than anybody. If you had her as your hostess, you were guaranteed people were going to buy because they realized that, oh, wow, you know, like any of us could wear this stuff and it looks good. So they, because you used to be able to try it, but that was the fun part. You all got to try on lingerie, which was kind of like weird.
Oh yeah, I remember having one of those. Yeah, in the '90s, having one of those parties, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, but man, she could sell, and it's like, why are we getting these people who weigh like, you know, or they look like they weigh 80 pounds to sell lingerie? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, really. Well, remember, was it last year? I think it was H&M that introduced realistically shaped mannequins.
Right.
Yeah,
to put in their windows.
I just saw online. I forgot what I was, scanning through. But yeah, there's another company that is, they're promoting mannequins that have normal real people
Curves.
shapes. And also too, wasn't there some of the modeling companies that were finally not hiring models that looked anorexic or unnaturally thin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it'd be nice if there was more of that, but
Yeah, not only were they anorexic, but they were 14-year-olds.
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so even if you are anorexic and 22, you're not going to have the same shape as 14-year-old.
That's right.
Exactly.
Anyway, I thought it was
Yeah,
really interesting, and they're getting lots of press.
Mhm. Well, hopefully it'll be the new wave. Right up there with no GMOs and no animal testing and things like that. People, the companies realize it is good marketing to be realistic with people and not try to augment your product superficially.
Yeah.
So-
Well, certainly Dove has a very it's very successful.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's their whole shtick. That's their marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Good on them.
Well, we will, I guess, we'll see and see what happens and hope for a more permanent change. Thank you so much, ladies.
Okay.
Another great
Thank you.
episode.
Yep.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.